Welcome back to another episode on News Portal and Laravel. In this video, we'll create model and migration file for website settings via Laravel Composer that will create a database table for us. We'll also create methods for controllers to work on the view files to insert, update, and delete website settings data in Laravel. Finally, we'll display those data in the front end. So without wasting time, let's get started. So in this lesson, we'll create a database table to control the website logo and social icons. We'll also control the About Us section at the bottom. We can control what to show on the Quick Links section as well as the Contact Us section over here. Let's go straight to our project, Resources, Views, Backend, Categories, and open the Add Category blade. Save it as Settings blade. Let's save it in the root of the backend folder. Then open web.php. Let's add comment on top of each group of routes so that we can find them easily later. Let's say these are related to category. Let's add settings then and add the route to view settings blade. Let's say the URI is settings and the method will be admin controller at settings. Then let's open the admin controller and add the method public function settings, and this will return us backend settings view. Alright, let's open the backend master blade and add the link in side menu to view the settings blade. Let's copy one of the menu items and paste it. Change the URI to settings. Let's change the icon to and the menu title as well. Let's remove the submenus from here. Let's go to the admin dashboard in browser, refresh it, and you can see the settings link inside menu. Click on it, and you can see the error undefined variable data because we had the category data displayed in the category blade, but we haven't defined anything as data for settings blade, right? Let's define the data then. db table, let's say settings. First, we'll allow only one set of data here, so first will be appropriate in this case. Let's send it to the view blade data. We don't have the settings table in our database, so let's open the terminal, go to your project directory, and create model and migration file for settings table. php addition make model settings -m. Let's open the setting model and add the table and primary key. Open the migration file and update the primary key ID. Let's add a column to insert logo. Let's say it's image. Let's add another column social to add social profile links. Let's add another column to add about us text at the footer. Let's define the data type as long text and the column name as about. I guess that's all what we need. We can add columns later too if needed. Let's migrate the table as it is at the moment. Go to the terminal and hit php addition migrate, and you can see the table is migrated. Let's close it for now. Refresh the browser and you can see the settings blade loading properly now. We want to store multiple data in this table, so we can remove the table section from the template. Let's make it full width, change the heading, change the text and button, and let's see how it looks. The form field looks too large. Let's set the width back to 25%. Well, that looks fine then. Let's change the form action URL. Let's say it's add settings. The table value will be settings, right? Now let's change the fields to what we need. Let's make this logo. Input type will be file. Name will be image. We don't need the ID here. Let's make it social. Input type will be URL. Name, let's say URL. Let's remove the read-only attribute and the description text too. Let's add an example on how we want the data to be added. Let's make it about us content. This will be text area. Let's move it on top of social. Let's see how it looks. Let's add the height to the text area. Well, that looks fine. Let's add a button to add more fields for social links. That's okay. Now what I want is display more fields for social links on click of the button. And we can do that easily with jQuery. Let's add an ID to the button to run the jQuery script. Let's say add social field. Let's keep the social link field inside a group. Let's say social field group. Go to the bottom of the blade and add a script. $document.ready function $add social field .click function. Let's add a variable new div equals to document.create element div.attr class form group. This will create a new div with class form group on click of the button. New div dot after HTML. Let's copy the social field input element and paste it inside HTML parentheses. We are trying to add multiple data in the same column, so we must define it as array, right? Let's close the div inside the script. Let's append it to the parent div social field group. New div dot append to social field group. Refresh the browser and see if it works. Well, it's not working, right? Inspect the element with Ctrl or Command-Shift-I, or right-click your mouse and click on Inspect. You can see two errors showing up on the top right corner. Click on Console and you can see $not defined error. This means the jQuery file is not found in the page which is required to run our script. That happens when the browser finds its script before the actual jQuery file. Let's ignore the other error at the moment. Open your master blade and you'll see the jQuery link is at the footer of the template and the script we added is in the middle. That is the yield section, right? Let's move all the JS links to the head section then. Refresh the browser and click on the button. It's still not working. Let's review the script. Let's remove the document ready function from the script. Let's reindent the HTML elements. Refresh the browser and click on the button. Well, that's working fine now. But I want to limit it to, let's say, 5 links. So I'll add a variable in the script. Let's say social counter. And the initial value is 1. And we'll increase its value by 1 each time the button is clicked. Then we can check if the social counter value reaches greater than 5. Instead of showing additional field, we'll display a message to the user. Let's say social alert. Let's add it right above the button. Let's make the class no-show here and see how it looks. Let's keep the add button inside form group to add some margins below it. Let's add style display none to no-show. Let's make this ID by adding hash in the front. Let's add the same ID to the alert div too. Let's make it remove class instead, and that will also produce the same result. Refresh the browser and click on the add button a couple of times. And you can see the alert message instead of new social field. Alright, since we are working with the input type file in this form, we'll need to add ink type multipart form data in the form tag, else we'll get the error call to a member function getClientOriginal on a string if we try to process it as a file. Let's add the route in the web.php file. We have already created the method to insert data in our CRUD controller, right? So let's send it to the same method. Let's open the CRUD controller. We'll need to make some changes in our insert method, but before that, let's open the database table and try to insert data into the settings table. Submit the form. Here we get a column name error, right? We don't have column named URL in our table. Let's review the table and you can see there's social instead of URL. Let's rename the social input field name in the settings blade. Get back to the form page and try to insert data again. Now you see another error, array to string conversion, which means we are trying to add array data into one of our table columns as a string. If you remember, that's the social field, right? Let's go back to the CRUD controller, insert data method, and add a condition for social field. We can write it this way: if input has social, then the processing code for social. Let's print whatever is stored on social field for now and add exit to prevent codes below it to execute. Refresh the browser and resubmit the form. You can see the array data appearing in the browser. Let's convert the array data into string using PHP include function. Let's use command to join them. You can resubmit the form to see the result. Well, the array data is converted to string here. Now we can insert it into settings table without any issue. Resubmit the form and you can see the data is inserted to the database table. Check your database and you can see the data. But if you check the image column, you can see the location of the image cache stored, which is not what we want. Let's check the input type file case in the insert method and add the processing code for the image. Let's print the data and see what we get first. Submit the form and you can see all the infos related to the file upload, namely file name, file type, size, error type, and the temporary location. The only thing we'll need from here is the file's original name. Let's go back to the controller. Let's add a new method to handle file upload. Let's say upload image. We'll need two values to upload the image, file location and file name. Let's say $name equals $image name, get client original name. This function will give us the file name from the uploaded file infos. Let's send the file data from the insert method to this upload method. $data image equals $this upload image. Let's send the table name along with the file data. Let's print the file name first. Resubmit the form and you can see it's working fine. Print $location and you can see the table name is printed. Let's use the move function to move the uploaded file to a defined location then. $image name, move public path, that's the public folder. Let's add $location here to store the file inside a folder named as the database table, and to keep the file name unique, let's add current date and time before the file name. And we'll return the same image name to the insert method. Let's break the code here and submit the form once again. You can see the blank screen here. Check your project's public folder and you can see the settings folder. Open it and you'll see the image stored here. Now, if we submit any file through the form in any table, it will be stored inside the public folder, inside a folder that matches the table name. Got it? Let's remove the exit function then. Now, we have added the processing code for the social links as well as the image, which were different from the one we worked in categories table. Let's refresh the form page, go to database table and truncate it. Go back to the form page and add data that we want on our website then. Select a logo. Let's add dummy content in the About Us section and add some social profile links. Submit the form and you can see the data is added. Check your database and you can see that. Check the public settings folder and you can see the image too. Let's remove the previous image. So the data is inserted and we can show it in front end, but I want something different in this section. We don't need multiple row of data for website settings like logo, about us and social links, right? So what I'll do here is add a clause in the view blade that prevents multiple data entry to the table. If some data already exists, we'll allow the user to update it instead of allowing addition of another set of data. Alright, so right above the insert form, I'll check if the data exists. If there's no data, we'll show the insert form. If there's data, we'll show the update form in the same blade. Alright, let's change the form action URL for the update form. Let's make it update settings We can set the data ID too, but that is completely optional. We'll send the data ID hidden via a form while updating data, right? Let's show the logo if there's one. Else we'll show the Add Image button. Let's display the About Us content too. We'll work on the social links later. Refresh the browser and you can see the logo and About Us content. Let's display the social links too then. It will be a bit different because all the links are stored as a single string in database. Let's break that first in our admin controller. To prevent error, let's check if there's data or not before displaying social links. If there's data, then we'll break the social data string into arrays on the basis of comma. That was what we used to join those data, right? Let's print the data as of now and exit. We don't need the array key here because it's string, right? Let's refresh the browser and see if it works. You can see the social links printed as arrays here. Let's remove these lines and display the links in the settings blade. It's stored in $data social, right? So for its $data social as $social. Let's display the value then. Refresh the browser and you can see the links displayed in separate fields. Let's display them properly with form group class. Let's remove the example from here. Refresh the browser and you can see it displayed properly. We added the default field count as 1, right? And that will be an issue in the update view because it will allow 4 more rows beside the existing ones. Let's fix that. Let's add an ID to the parent div holding the social input field. Let's say social count. Let's move the script inside the if clause so that each form view has a separate script. Let's change the ID to class just to follow the HTML norms. Now, in the update script, we can add the div count instead of the default value. That will be social count.length. Let's alert the value and check if it works. Well, the value is 0 here. Let's fix it. Let's move the count inside the click function so that it runs every time the button is clicked. Let's give the class name to input rather than the parent div. Refresh the browser, click on the button and you can see the field count. Let's remove the alert then. Move the counter on top of the click function. Refresh the browser, click the add button a couple of times and you can see that it's limited to 5 fields again. That's done then. Let's add the recent processing codes to the update method too. We'll need that to update the data, right? Now, the only thing we need is a button to replace logo if there's one existing. Let's display it as a button and see how it looks. But you can't use the button inside form for other purpose, right? It will automatically try to submit the form. Let's make it label instead. Refresh the browser and try to edit it. Submit the form and you can see the route exception error. Let's add the route then. Route post update settings and the method will be CRUD controller and update data. Resubmit the form and you can see the data is updated. Let's make things more interesting by adding a script here. Let's go to webtrickshome.com once again. This time to the forum section. Click the link how to display uploaded image in HTML using JavaScript. Copy the script and paste it at the bottom of your settings blade. and replace the image input HTML code in the form with this one. You don't need to make any changes for the insert field. You can add some styles though. Let's add the ID to the image here and rename the button as replace image and place the same code as it is in this section. Well, that's done then. Refresh the browser, try to replace the image, and you can see what I was trying to do. Let's add Bootstrap button class to the label here. Refresh the browser. It looks better now. Let's replace the logo and add a few more social links. Submit the form and you can see the data is updated. Let's change the button text here. Check the database and you can see there's only one data, right? Now let's display the same data in front end too. Let's open the front controller and the front end master blade. We'll need both of them. Open the front controller. Let's display the data through magic method. We'll need them in all templates, right? DB, table, settings. First, settings, $settings. Now we can display the logo and about us content easily in front end. Let's replace the logo first. Let's give it a width of 100 pixels initially. Check how it looks. Let's make it 100%. Well, that looks fine. Let's go to the footer section and make the About Us content dynamic. We can copy the logo code block from the header and paste it at the footer. Well, that doesn't look nice in the gray background, but let's leave it as it is. We can break the navigation items and display them in 2 columns. Let's check the data count, display the first 4 in left column and the rest in the right one. Let's make them uppercase letters too. Well, that looks great now. Now the challenge is to display the social icons and the links using the links we have in our database table. Let's keep only one item and remove the rest from here. Instead of image, I'll use font awesome icons that will be easier to display. We have already done a little bit in our backend settings blade, right? We'll use that initially. Let's say it's $social for now. Let's copy the code block from admin controller and paste it in front controller. Then we can write for each $setting social as $social and for each. Refresh the browser and you can see the links displayed as array. We can use this value in our anchor tag, right? Now let's break each links into array on the basis of dot. and store the second value from the array only. We'll use that for social icon. Let's try to print the value. Well, it says you can't use the array data as object. Let's change it to $icon only and print the data. Well, that gave us our first value. We can remove these codes then. Let's send it as object to front-end view. Then we can write it this way in our master blade. Let's remove the link text. Refresh the browser. Nothing shown. Let's check the page source. And you can see it's showing a single letter from the last value from the array. Let's print $icon here. And you can see it's the last data from the array, right? Let's define it as array. Refresh the browser. And you can see it's displaying all the social profile names. That's what we needed. The spelling of LinkedIn is wrong here. Let's go to the backend and rectify it. Well, that's fine now. Let's get back to front controller and store the social profiles outside of for each loop. Let's set it back to $icon and store it outside the loop. Let's make it icons instead. Refresh the browser. Well, we are back to where we were. Let's keep it inside the loop. Well, that's fine now. Since we are sending the object, we can't send it null. So we'll add empty object if there's no data. We can remove the print statement now. This will be icons. Let's make it icons in the master blade too. Refresh the page source and you can see what we achieved. We don't have font awesome CSS linked in our master blade. Let's do that first. Let's check the file name in the public CSS folder. Get back to the browser, refresh it, and you can see the font awesome social icons. Let's copy the same code block from the header to the footer too. And you can see it's working fine. Let's add a class to these icons to add our styles. Go to public CSS styler CSS. You can add the styles anywhere except inside the media query. Let's make the background white, add some paddings, and change the color. Let's see how it looks. Well, that doesn't look great on top, but looks good at the footer. Let's change the background to blue and the font color to white. Well, that looks good on both ends. Let's make them a bit larger by changing the font size. Let's add a class to the header social icons container div to add padding. Let's change the credit at the footer copyright section. And you're done. Well, that's all for today. We'll work on the post table in our upcoming lesson. Thanks for watching and please subscribe to our channel for more videos. Thank you.